interesting political character from South America. His name's Javier Milei, and he's a libertarian that is now the president, prime minister of Argentina, and he's cleaning house. He's changing things up. It gives me a little bit of hope. I'm not really sure how to tell this story, but I've got some videos that I think will help do it for me. So let's take a peek at some of that. It's so interesting, guys. There is hope for democracy, possibly, because Argentina is an established democracy that has fallen under very tough times, similar to our own, with outrageous inflation and bureaucracy, just so many unnecessary uses of our tax dollars. Similar in Argentina, and now they have this guy, Javier Milei, cleaning house. And so we're gonna take a peek at that.
Hola a todos.
Hello everyone.
Yo soy el león.
I'm the lion.
Lindo día para hacer temblar a la izquierda.
Day to make the left wing shake.
He's a wild one, right? The lion, he calls himself. Many politicos have been identifying him as like a Trump-like figure or somebody. I don't think that he's anything like that. I think he's one of a kind, completely a reformer. It's very interesting. Let's find out a little bit more about Javier Milei.
Why did thousands of Argentines go out in the streets to protest their new president? When Javier Milei became the first self-described libertarian head of state in history, he explained that to avert economic disaster in a country facing huge deficits and a 160% inflation rate, things would likely get worse before it could get better.
Así como la caída del muro de Berlín marcó el final de una época trágica para el mundo, estas elecciones han marcado el punto de quiebre de nuestra historia. Ningún gobierno ha recibido una herencia peor que la que estamos recibiendo nosotros. No buscamos ni deseamos las duras decisiones que habrá que tomar en las próximas semanas, pero lamentablemente no nos han dejado opción.
10 days into his term, Milei issued a mega decree of more than 300 executive measures. He abolished national rent control, which had caused a 75% drop in available apartments in Buenos Aires between 2022 and 2023. He repealed price controls, slashed subsidies, and fired more than 5,000 government employees. He allowed direct competition with Argentina's government-owned airline, which he plans to privatize. And he defied the country's powerful labor unions.
Milei es casi un dictador que impone su ley como él quiere y...
Milei debería estar haciendo lo que no está haciendo. En cada trabajador un enemigo y se olvida que la clase trabajadora es la que justamente lo votó en pos de una esperanza.
The strike was organized by the General Confederation of Labor, Argentina's largest labor union, which represents 1 out of every 5 Argentine workers. Milei issued an order ending the automatic withholding of union dues, leaving workers free to opt out, and he banned government workers in sectors like health and education from striking. A court ruling temporarily suspended these measures, but in the meantime, unions are making a show of force so that Milei's agenda doesn't make it through Congress.
No le tiembla el pulso a la hora de tener que ajustarle a los jubilados, a la hora de tener que ajustar en la salud, a la hora de tener que ajustar en la educación. La verdad que me parece que es otro gobierno más liberal que tuvo la Argentina y que bueno, que estamos acá para derrotarlo, obviamente.
Javier Milei has a seemingly impossible job, but he also has a clear vision for a freer, less regulated, and less debt-ridden Argentina, and he's exceptionally skilled at communicating that vision.
El capitalismo de libre empresa no solo es un sistema posible para terminar con la pobreza del mundo, sino que es el único sistema moralmente deseable para lograrlo. Si se adoptan medidas que entorpecen el libre funcionamiento de los mercados, el único destino posible es la pobreza.
But there are powerful political interests determined to stop him. Milei's main political adversaries aren't Argentina's workers. In fact, the self-described anarcho-capitalist is actually pushing to increase welfare in the short term to ease the pain for the working class during this transition to a new economic model. As Argentine political economist Marcos Falcone told Reason, his adversaries are actually wealthy Argentines who've benefited from government largesse.
Milei is going against crony capitalism because he is basically trying to tell the businessmen that have lived off of government support, you are done. This is over. We need to move forward, and the people need to be able to profit, not just companies because of regulations and privileges.
Quiero darles un mensaje a todos los empresarios aquí presentes y a los que no están, pero nos están siguiendo desde todas partes del planeta. No se dejen amedrentar ni por la casta política ni por los parásitos que viven del Estado. No se entreguen a una clase política que lo único que quiere es perpetuarse en el poder y mantener sus privilegios. Ustedes son benefactores sociales, ustedes son héroes, ustedes son los creadores del periodo de prosperidad más extraordinario que jamás hayamos vivido. Que nadie les diga que su ambición es inmoral. Si ustedes ganan dinero es porque ofrecen un mejor producto a un mejor precio, contribuyendo de esa manera al bienestar general. No cedan al avance del Estado. El Estado no es la solución. El Estado es el problema mismo.
Milei faces a thicket of regulations and political resistance. It will not be easy. We'll have to wait and see if he picked the right chainsaw for the job.
So that video is courtesy of Reason TV. They've got a channel here on YouTube. You can check them out. But what a wild guy that Javier Milei is, and he's really shaking things up in Argentina. I think that we could use some of those kinds of changes here. Much less bureaucracy. A libertarian leader sounds pretty good to me. And here's one last piece. A little bit where Pierre Poilievre sounds a little bit like a libertarian. Like, we're gonna end off on that. And that's it. We're wrapping up the video. My name's Ehren. This is Question Period Canada. We cover all the question periods daily, 10 after 3 AST. Check us out. It's a lot of fun. The chat room's wild. We're going to send you off. Remember to have something healthy to eat and try to stay warm. We'll be checking you out next video. Here's some Poilievre.
On these broader social questions, if I were to create a political party from scratch, it would be called the Mind Your Own Damn Business Party. People can make the decisions of who they marry, who they date, how they live their lives, but also how they raise their kids. And I think if we had governments at all levels that live and let live, that had a policy of live and let live, a true policy of live and let live, which ironically is what liberals used to say 25 years ago, then we would have so much more social peace because people could make their own decisions and come to their own conclusions and raise their own families with their own values. And I think by and large, parents are human, they'll obviously make mistakes, but by and large, at the end of the day, parents and people will make the right decisions for their own lives and their own families. And that's why my role as a prime minister is not going to be to impose my values on other people. It's to get out of their faces and run a competent government. They want a government that can deliver a passport, not a government that runs their lives.